Welcome to CosplayPhreak. Today we'll be reviewing my classic Doctor Doom helmet. This is not a sponsored video. I purchased a 3D printable STL file from YoshStudios for an upcoming Doctor Doom cosplay. I plan to eventually paint and weather the helmet as well as add foam to the interior for comfort. So let's take a closer look at how to make the helmet.
You can purchase a file at YoshStudios. You can find the link to their store in the video description below. Once you receive the file, you will need to import it into a meshing program like MeshMixer to resize and customize the file. I use sizing heads from the creator Budwin that you can find on Thingiverse to help properly size the helmet. You can find the link in the video description below. Next, measure your head circumference. Once you have that, you can now choose the corresponding sizing head that best fits your measurements. Next, finish importing the head and align it to the build area. Now you can import the helmet files. Once imported, begin to align the assembled parts to the sizing head. This will give you a good starting point to begin sizing. I like to then position the helmet so that I can see the eyes of the sizing head matched with the eyes of the helmet. If you do this one piece at a time, it might not align properly. So make sure that all the helmet parts are highlighted prior to resizing. When resizing, keep in mind what the goal of the piece will be. Are you just printing a static file, which will be closer to the dimensions of your head, hence a tighter fit? Or are you seeking to add electronics, lighted eyes, and add padding for comfort, which will require you to have a bit more room for a looser fit that will allow space for these items? It all depends on what you're going for. Once you have it resized to your liking, save the final files as object files. Note, rendering them can take some time. Now you are ready to import the files into your slicer. I use Creality Print to prepare and slice my files. After opening your slicer, begin to import one part at a time and arrange it on the build plate. Keep in mind openings and holes to properly orient the file. I like to use tree supports to minimize material use. Note, the key to good prints is routine maintenance, temperature control, humidity of the filament, and the filament you use. Most printers today have great settings. Just make sure to choose the correct setting for your filament before slicing. After the file is imported, oriented, and sliced, you can then export it as a G-code file, which is what your printer will read and use to print the file. I like to print parts separate, as overcrowding your bed can easily cause failures. After the file has printed, we move on to prepping the print. Now this is where you make the decision of keeping a raw file, if you printed it already in the colors you are happy with, or moving forward with further processing. If you choose to keep it as a raw file, I suggest to deburr and sand the edges. Begin to put the pieces together by affixing magnets, as well as gluing any immovable pieces in place. You can choose to add mesh eyes, or if you are fancy, add some light up eyes. Just make sure to size the helmet larger to fit the electronics. If you choose to move forward with a more detailed finish, it would require taking the arduous time of sanding. Yes, the 3D printing cosplayer's pastime. I suggest getting some good tunes before you begin the sanding process. Once finished sanding, you can then move to paint, which will require priming, possibly more sanding, repriming, and 2 to 3 coats of paint. If you are permanently gluing any parts, make sure to think of paint before affixing these, as you may have to tape that up if you already glued the parts together. After painting, you can then start detailing, adding shadows, highlights, exposed blemishes for weathering, etc. We will cover that in a future video. Lastly, you can add 2mm foam for padding on the inside of the helmet for comfort if you like. As you can see, the helmet fits perfectly. The magnets help snap it in place and keep all the parts together. I can move around without it falling apart, and it looks really cool for cosplay, or just as a standing piece to add to your collection. Adding the glowing eyes takes this helmet to the next level. You can find this specific helmet live on my Etsy store. Please find the link in the video description below. Let's discuss some of the strengths of this file. I like the overall design of the original file. It's pretty accurate on the parts placement and magnet sizing. Note, with extensive sizing, the magnet holes will change, and you will have to use different sized magnets. I love the lighted pupils, which create the look of magic perpetually culminating in your eyes. This really takes the cosplay to the next level. Now for some of the weaknesses. I would like to see adding faceplates with different expressions that are swappable like some of Yosh's designs on other helmets. I'd also like to see a better split of the helmet so that it makes it easier to print parts for smaller printers. Overall, this helmet file is great. I love the look and feel of the helmet. Yosh really thought this one out, and I feel this is exactly what Doctor Doom looks like in the comics. I would highly recommend this file if you planned on cosplaying as Doctor Doom, or are a diehard fan looking for a unique piece for your collection. If you don't have a 3D printer and are looking for the physical printed file, go check out my Etsy store and I'll be more than happy to help you get your very own Doctor Doom helmet. I give this file 4 out of 5 stars.
Well, that's it for today. Thank you for watching this video, and keep an eye out for the upcoming detail and weathering videos. Till next time, my cosplay freaks, I'll see you in the next one.